I've been listening to this shit so often now. Like, come on. I'm a rock star. This is hip hop to me right now. Look at that shit, man. You know. Woke up to niggas talking like me talk. Woke up to niggas talking like me talk. Alright, enough of that. We're gonna talk about this weak ass Nas album, alright? Fuck out of here with this King's Disease shit, man. This shit was trash and a half. And I'll tell you why. Hitboy. Hitboy made this shit weak, man. These are weak ass beats. Every one of them beats is generic trash. Every one of them. 27 Summers, meh. Spicy, meh. And these are some of the highlights. Blue Bends, trash. What a disappointment. Right? Nas was really flowing, but the snippet, hard. The actual song, weak. So yeah, Nas and the trash production strikes again. Of course, there's fake praise on the internet for it because, you know, it's a sleepy time album. It's generic. Generic casuals like to group around Nas because they love the respect that Nas has. And they want to, you know, they want to have their moment. And I understand it, but this shit is not it. This shit is weak. Asking and relying on Nas to actually save rap is sort of sad in 2020 because the dude's clearly past his prime. Let's be honest here. I mean, Nas can rap. Like, he's my favorite rapper ever. He is, you know, very much an inspiration for me in the art world. But he's also a human being, and artists sometimes, and actually a lot of times, sometimes they approach their prime and they, you know, become washed. And Nas's ear for beats is washed, beyond washed, in my opinion, because these beats are horrible and they're trash. And this is the problem. It happens with all the great rappers, for the most part. I mean, like Rakim and KRS and Kane, they all became washed at some point. But the difference was in the 90s and the early 2000s, we didn't expect and wait for them to save rap. Like, it was very much like, okay, you washed, like, let's move on to next. You know, thank you for your classics and for what you've done, but we got to keep this moving, you know, because this is hip hop. This is a culture. It's got to keep moving. And that's beautiful. As opposed to now where we're fucking stagnant as fuck and we're relying on Nas and Jay to still dictate the culture, which is fucking wild to me. Again, I grew up on these guys. I love these guys. These guys are like absolute legends to me and huge inspirations, but relying on them to still move hip hop culture and to do what's best for hip hop culture is wild to me. Wild. We should have new heroes, right? But that's the problem. This era is about dick riding what's old and what's been done and tried and true. And nobody really wants to go outside of the box and really do some powerful creative shit. And that is sad as fuck. The old, you know, just want to keep riding the shit and keep running it. And the new kids, a lot of times, just want cosigns. And they're just desperate for clout. Like, they just want to be in. They don't really care about really saying, man, fuck the old school, man. Let's do some new shit. Let's make it better than they ever did. They don't have that attitude. They have to, oh, please, I want to be in the video so bad. Nas, I want you to like me. Please do a track with me, Nas. Please. You know, like, it's a dick riding, dick licking sensation that these, you know, new cats love. And I can't rock with that, man, because how does art progress if not someone saying, that was cool, but I'm going to try and do something better. This is why I listen to Playboys and the ASAP Rockies. They don't sit here dick riding and asking for, oh, please, like, you know, if I do a track with a legend, then I'm a legend. It doesn't really work like that. You know what I mean? So I thought the production here was sleepy time. And again, the Nas argument about, oh, we only listen to Nas for the verses, to me is complete bullshit. Because any Nas fan knows that when you heard Illmatic fucking floored you production-wise. The rhymes were amazing, of course, right? But Nas, and if you've been listening to Nas like I have, I grew up on Nas, he has occasionally great beats, right? So the point is, you have to listen to Nas for the entire song. Nas makes great songs. He used to make great songs, not so much anymore. But the point is to say that, oh, it's not about the beat for Nas is complete bullshit. Because he came out the gate with cutting edge production. We're not even talking about like production that was kind of like, you know, being done. Like, he came out with cutting edge production. That would be like him coming out right now with Pierre Bourne beats back in 94. Cutting edge shit. There's a difference. So of course I'm going to want cutting edge beats from Nas. Why would I not? because he came out the gate on cutting edge shit. That's part of what makes Nas successful. That's a huge part of what makes Nas successful. And as I've said before, producers, the DJs are the ones that started this hip hop culture. Okay? Hip hop is beat driven. It's a beat driven culture. It starts out with the guys playing the beats. Okay? Them crazy beats, that's how hip hop started. From what I've read, from what I've heard, from people I've talked to, I've met MC Debbie D, one of the pioneering female rappers when I was in New York, and I was talking to her, and she was saying how back in the day in the Bronx, right, in the 70s, like they went to this, they decided which party they went to. They would go see Flash because Flash would play the beats they liked. Okay, they didn't go because they were like, oh, we can listen to some guy on the microphone talk. There ain't nobody got time for that. We're black. Okay, we want to dance. We want to have a good time. She was like, I went to Flash because of the beats he had. Flash just had some different beats. Basically, his crates were better. And that's the point. So when you tell me that the beat doesn't really matter, I'm like, to who? Like, to a casual? Yeah, okay. But to me as a hip-hop fan, that shit matters. And if I don't like the production on something, yeah, the song is trash. Like, instantly. It becomes mediocre on first listen. It's a big problem. So why should I expect Nas to rap on mediocre production? Especially when he came out the gate with amazing production. And continue to have amazing production on some of his unreleased joints and even some of his singles. Anyway, so it ain't it, man. And, you know, when you listen to this album, you realize that obviously Hitboy, who isn't on, you know, Swizz or, you know, Primo or Pete Rock, he's on their level. But you start to really give respect to fucking Large Professor, Pete Rock, and these guys, man. They molded Nas. They created Nas. Fuck what you thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody can say, I have a track with Nas. But do you remember that track? You know what I mean? Did that track inspire anything? No. Like, the real geniuses of this hip-hop shit, like I said, are the producers. These are the intellectuals. Okay? Fuck a rapper. Like, I like rappers. Rappers are amazing. But they plateau. People get sort of concerned with their image and all that shit. The people that really make this shit tick, the ones that care about the culture, a lot of the times that really want to make the shit move, are the producers. You see it with the Versus battle right off the top. Who were the ones that started Versus? Swizz and Timbaland. Who was even doing Versus to a certain degree back before them? Pete Rock and Primo. I went to those Pete Rock and Primo shows back in the early 2000s, late 2000s, right? Because producers care about this shit. They really, really do care about this hip hop. And that's why the great producers, these guys are real intellectuals. When you sit and listen to them talk, they know everything. They've listened to all the records. They know how these shits work. A lot of times the rappers, they just like come in and, you know, they're not as bright. Let's be honest here. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of know one thing and they kind of stick to that. Whereas producers are a lot more savvy, in my honest opinion. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that, you know, you don't need rappers and all that. Well, I'm not saying that. A great rapper is a great fucking rapper. There are things that Nas does on beats that 99% of people will never be able to do. And producers cannot do, right? They are two different lanes. Being able to rap amazing and being able to produce amazing are two different lanes. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the producer lane is more of the heavy lifting. That's all I'm trying to say. And that's why you really got to give props to the producer. And you got to be very careful about what producers you use on your projects. So I'm not impressed by it. I want to see if I have anything else I want to say about this. I'm not sure who this album was really for, to be honest with you. I'm not, like, I don't care about this pairing, like, with Hitboy and Nas. Like, it's like, what's Nas going to do next? Like, you know, work with DJ Mustard or some shit? Like, Lex Luger? Like, again, like, why are you working with people that are past their prime? And at least with Mustard, you could say, like, he ran radio for a little while. Or Luger, you know, he kind of ran radio for a little while, right? The fuck did Hitboy do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he made, I guess, Niggas in Paris, but that's it. Like, it's so random, like, that I want to know what the real story is behind that shit. So, but, not impressed, man. Not impressed. I think this is kind of, it's Nasir level to me. I think this is like one of Nas's worst albums. I would say that this is bottom tier. This is like King's Disease and Nasir are equally trash. So yeah, Lost Tapes 2 is definitely better. It wasn't a whole lot better, but it was definitely better. So it is what it is, man. Disappointing, but what can I say? It is what it is with this rap shit. I wish, you know, people would be more ballsy. And really, man, like if the new cats were just a little more ballsy with their music, like the lead, if they watch like what the Playboys and the Rockies are doing, and then they even like decided to actually say some shit on records, like actually really speak on some shit while having some amazing production, they would get these guys the fuck up out of here. Get these old niggas out, man, because like they're just gonna sit there and stink up the game. Like respectfully, and I say that as a huge Nas fan. Like they're gonna sit there and just release weak ass music, right? Like get them the fuck up out of here, man, please. You know, do it like we did it back in the day. You know, Nas, Jay, they got them, you know, Rakim and them the fuck up out of here. They said, okay, you know, we respect what you're doing, but please, you gotta go. So let's see, man. I'm still very much disappointed about this year and how it's turning out. I heard like one of the Locks joints with I think Scram Jones did the beat. Again, Scram Jones has never made a great beat in I've ever heard. Shit's been trash to me the whole time. So it's been another weak ass year. I think Drake is still number one this year. Again, 2020 and it's still Drake, man. Ain't that some shit? Anyway, take it easy, y'all.